Oh, you brought 2 with you, huh, buddy?
Hey, fuck you. You ain't got 2. You got 1.
Oh, really? You stupid...
You've got a
stupid motherfucker! The following podcast is for adults, not children. So get those fucking assholes out of the room, because they gotta leave.
Hello. Welcome to another show. Phil's back.
Yo, what's up, guys? How you doing?
Good. Where have you been?
Right here.
He hasn't been anywhere. Thank you for everybody who stuck with the last podcast, which was a solo performance by myself, talking about Slender Man. What are your thoughts on Slender Man, Phil?
Slender Man, quality. Played the game.
You played the game?
Yeah.
8 pages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, this is pretty cool. But then, shortly after, you know me, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, the graphics are too shit.
The graphics were really shit.
Aye, it's not like a blockbuster or anything, is it? But
no.
It was good.
Did it scare you?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
No, but you've got to play it with headphones in the dark, haven't you?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, to get the best out of it, because of the sort of game it is, you've got to play it by yourself, alone in the dark.
On LSD or something,
and drunk at the same time, perhaps. And on a caffeine high.
Now you're talking, man.
Now we're talking. We've got the energy drinks. So let's get the start of this show. Sticking with the paranormal theme, I guess, is going to be about mediumship and mediums, people who can talk to the dead, people who can communicate to lost souls, and potentially, if you believe it, get possessed, Philip.
You just went there.
I went there. What do you think about this?
Possession.
Mediumship, just in general. The spectrum.
If it's a trick,
mm-hmm.
The people that are good at it are so talented.
Yeah.
They have such a skill. If it's just a trick.
Yeah.
If it's not a trick, fuck. Wow.
But if it's not a trick, doesn't that denote the fact that there has to be life after death? Or an afterlife of sorts? There has to be some realm which these people can tap into and communicate with the dead.
Well, if it's not a trick and it is true, then that is all the proof you need, really. As far as there being an afterlife is concerned.
Yeah.
But it's pretty interesting. Have you ever had any?
No, nothing. My mum has, and my sister has.
Did they buy into it at all, or?
Well, they're believers, so yeah, they're always gonna buy into it. They believe in ghosts and that. So ghosts and mediums, it's in the same genre, I guess. These days, it comes hand in hand.
Yeah.
They believed. I think they've been told stuff that's been pretty interesting in the past. Nothing recently.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been in that situation, but I have seen Derek and Cora live with Ryan.
Did you?
Yeah, we went to see him. What was it? 2009, maybe. No, because I lived at Tynemouth at the time, so it would have been about 2011.
So the guy gets possessed on stage?
No. What it was is he does a sort of it was an evening show at Newcastle City Hall. It was myself, Ryan's now wife Joanne, his auntie and his mum. We all went down there, and you know City Hall, don't you? You've been there before, yeah. So we're chilling out and that, had a beer and that, and then we walk in, take our seats. I'm setting the scene, which I like to do. And we all take a seat. And then we're waiting for him to come on, you're waiting for a comedian to start, or you're waiting, for a movie to begin. And then all of a sudden, this music, there's
techno.
This
shit.
Techno rave music. What the fuck? What's going on? Shit, loud music. All of a sudden, welcome to the stage, Derek and Cora. And he comes out, hello, bless you, thank you, bless you, thank you. Great to be here tonight. All that sort of stuff. And I'm sat there like that because I've watched Most Haunted for years. I'm a big fan of Most Haunted. I don't care if it's fake or real. It's just whilst Derek was in it, not after. Whilst the first 6 seasons, I think it was, series that Derek was in it, they're great, in my opinion. It's good TV because he makes it, because he gets possessed, especially the earlier seasons. Anyway, so I'm sat there and Derek's on stage and I'm thinking, fuck, it's Derek Cora. He's on stage. Obviously, starstruck to a degree, yeah, and he's just stood there. Okay, bless you, thank you, Sam, thank you. Communicating with his spirit guide, Sam. And he's giving people readings in the crowd. He's going through the crowd saying, I've got this soul here, the spirit here. She's a little cutie. She's this little girl that's lost or whatever. I'm just making it up, but that's what he was doing. he was basically saying, I'm picking up on the spirit of this. Oh, does anybody have anybody who does this in their family, sort of thing? And then talking to people in the crowd about it. Funniest moment it was, somebody outside Newcastle City Hall walked past and shouted in, "You're a fake!" like that. And then Derek stood there and he goes, "Oh, that certainly wasn't spiritual." I just sat there like that, laughing my tits off. And then he gets on with his reading. But
Sam, should we go and kill that guy?
Sam, what the fuck was that cunt?
I'm sorry,
Language.
Sam's telling me to go kill that man that just said that.
Wait, get a moment. I'll go and do him in. So that was my experience of it.
So
it was great.
Did they just go like, "Oh, has anyone's like had a family member that's just crossed over?" And then people are like, "Yay!" And
No,
then it gets narrowed down.
no, it was never as obvious as that. It was never like,
I'm getting Susan.
right, as
Susan and Brian.
has somebody just died? Anybody in your families? Me. Right, okay. Was it a man? It's like guess who? But no, it was more vague than that.
It'd be funny if you like just said completely ridiculous stuff, like picked like a ginger lass and said, "So I take it your father is just passed as of Afro-Caribbean descent." Like, what? Fucking obviously not, stupid idiot. I'd rather say that. People just blatantly saying obviously like wrong stuff. Like,
I'm sure some people do that. Some people probably go to medium like shows and do that. Just bullshit their way through because they want to trick the medium. That's Sally Morgan. That woman who does the readings, she was completely faking what she did. Not that we're saying that all mediums are real or any, but she had an earpiece in and she was getting fed information. Yeah, she got caught out. She's still doing it.
How would they give her information though? Like what kind of stuff?
I don't know. They probably did some sort of check, but maybe by going on Facebook and saying who said. You know, somebody might have checked in and said, "Oh, I'm going to Sally Morgan tonight at the Birmingham NEC or whatever."
Yeah.
And then they could have been online. "Oh, who's checked into that? What's your name?" Go on their profile, look through, have a look at stuff.
That's like the first run of hacking, isn't it? Like
21st century mediums.
I'll just like click on that profile, uninvited, and right, R.I.P. Grandad.
Yeah.
It's been 3 years today. Like,
yep.
Jot that one down.
So I think that's how it was being done. But the crazy thing is, Sally Morgan is still touring as a spiritualist medium today, as a psychic. People are still paying to see her after that scandal. After that scandal, people are still willing to pay money.
Do you think it's people that
and it's not
aren't
cheap.
aware of it, or
No.
Is it people that are just like hardcore fans?
It was a big expose. So they'll be aware of it.
A lot of people are just dying to be convinced of an afterlife, though. They're like, right, what, you've been done for rape? That's weird. I still trust you as a medium.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you've been outed as a fraud, a phony?
Yeah.
I still trust you because I still like to hear what you say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Maybe they just like the person.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it doesn't boil down to what they do. Maybe they just want to see them in the flesh.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the show in itself, even if they're not a believer, is entertaining enough that they can watch it and not really be too concerned. Like even if Derek Akora was a fake, I still enjoy watching the show because he's got a lot of charisma and he's a good character and he's funny to watch. So that's why I enjoyed it. Hence why I stopped watching it once they left.
Them clips you were showing us before about that Derek Akora guy getting possessed and stuff. I looked at it and I thought, that's a guy who did that in his childhood as a way of escaping. Like, that's what I thought. I was like, this Sam spirit guy, that's an imaginary friend that he had.
Yeah.
Turned, in the form of a spirit guide or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I thought, he can say what he sort of wants to say and act how he wants to act when he's in that state of possession, because it's diffused the responsibility. And
he could maybe say things and do things that he couldn't get away with when he's not in that possessed
For example,
state.
what he did going to that chick going,
you want to tell
bitch,
him,
bitch. It's like, what the
fuck off, bitch.
Yeah. It was like, all right, that guy's legitimately got some strange mental health.
That guy has a very legitimate psychosis.
Mm-hmm.
The guy is a psychopath.
Yeah, it was just an odd behaviour that's allowed him to come out of the proverbial closet.
Mm. But by God, is he a sexy guy?
Yeah, he's interesting.
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 Liverpudlian, slick back hair, rings on his fingers,
White suits.
earrings.
Or was that just
white
because
suits?
it was...
No, he likes his white suits. White suits, grey suits. In the first series of Most Haunted, if you watch it, there's something he's got like a green suit on.
Riddler.
Rattler. he's a madman, but with skin like tanned leather as well. Hits the sunbeds, and he's got whitened teeth.
He's one of those dudes where like,
he's a god. He's a deity.
They instantly remind me of like 50-year-old council estate women. That's what I think when I look at dudes like that. The voices, like the pitch of the voice is like that of a woman. Aye.
Alright.
It's like it's slightly high. Like you're like what? I don't know. It's weird. But if you're listening, Derek.
Yeah. Now a lot of people.
You seem like a cool guy.
I said it before. I want to try and get him on the podcast in at least a telephone call in the future. Not now. Maybe when the podcast picks up a little bit more steam. We're getting there. Do you believe... I've discussed this with you before, but I forgot. Do you believe in ghosts? Or, you know, sure?
More on the side of like not believing in them.
Right, okay. Now, obviously, there's a lot of people very sceptical for obvious reasons about mediumship. Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't believe. My dad, he doesn't believe at all. And you've got people on the other side of their fence who completely believe absolutely everything the medium says is gospel. But even when this first sort of came around, this whole idea of spiritualism in the 19th century, with people doing seances and table tipping and Ouija board and glass spinning. Glass one might be quite a new one actually. But even back then, it was riddled with frauds and people were found out when it first started. So it's not just a new sort of expose, like, oh, we've got you. It's not like that. It's not a brand new idea. People have always been very skeptical about it all, and it was done by magicians and things like that. People that could get away with doing it.
Yeah, they would just like act as. It's just like, oh well, this is my art.
Mm-hmm.
I pretend to contact the spirits because there's no TV yet, so I haven't got a show. So I just go around to people's houses and claim that I'm channeling a friggin' dead person's soul.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit weird.
It is.
I kind of like don't really buy into it all, but there's that other part that's open to. Well, what if it is true?
And that leads me to ask you, Phil, what makes you think it could be true? Because personally, I haven't got any proof.
Yeah.
From a personal experience,
it's
that says
as well.
It's real.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing of where if somebody else has proof to them, it's just proof to them. It's never as like impactful, if that's even a word, like to you, somebody else's evidence. You know what I mean? So say somebody gets like a reading, and they're like, God, that totally applies, that totally fits with my life, and they're like, fuck, that's undeniable. But then to someone else who isn't them reading that is like, wow, that is pretty good, but yeah, I need convincing yourself. So you, like, as an individual, if you're on the skeptical side, you need like direct shit. But I got one of those like psychic readings or whatever the fuck you'd call them.
Mm-hmm.
One part here, which was just bang on the money, and when I read it, I was like, what? It's got your son will arrive in the next 18 months. He will have your brains and his mother's beauty, followed a year later by your daughter. And I was like, fuck, that's like impossible. She will have confidence and beauty. Her looks will be dark Mediterranean, and you will protect her with your life. Which I was like, fuck, does that mean I'm going to die? But either way, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to be having any children anytime soon.
And what's happened?
And guess what? I'm going to be having a son. And guess what? 18 months is fucking like bang on.
You're kidding.
When I got this, 18 months from when I received that is the month when my son is due.
What?
Like, what the fuck? And then when it's on about the daughter, a year later, it says her looks will be dark Mediterranean. Baby mama is half Spanish.
Yeah. Fucking hell. Now, the skeptic in me will say, you haven't got a daughter yet.
Yeah.
But up until that, it seems to be spot on, like.
Yeah, it's like bang on the money.
Bang on the money. So, how would the skeptics explain that? Happy coincidence?
I know, because I think like it must be a coincidence. But to get the gender right, to get having a baby right, and to get the fucking actual month right, the month.
Yeah, that's like, it's a very big coincidence.
Yeah, it was like, what the hell? That was some of that crap now. Like, where I was like, how the fuck do you know that? You work in a caregiving role. I work in a caregiving role. That's true. Like, how the fuck? And it said like other crap, like alluding to having like a drink problem, stuff like that.
No way.
And I was like, what the fuck? You know, because guys, I used to have a bit of a drink problem there, because, you know, I'm an addict. There was stuff saying about me mum feeling like helpless and like crying and being upset over us and that. At the time, like in the, you know, a few months prior to this, they were in a state because I was totally depressed, like just fucking losing the plot, like. And my mum did genuinely feel like that. I was like, God, that's pretty like on the button, because not everybody is going through that. Like the mum crying over them. Most people probably have another mum cry about them for like years. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, fuck the fuck. And another one of the strangest things to me was, you know, they like to mention spirit guides. And she mentioned that that there was an old World War I soldier that was my spirit guide, and I was like, when I got it, I was like, whoa. Because every year I go into the Laying Art Gallery with my granddad, just like a little granddad-grandson thing that we do. Have a look around, and then we've done that for years, and he decided my granddad just decided to go into this random room that we've never ever been in, and it was like closed and that, but we went in anyway. He just decided to do that. It was a fucking World War I exhibition, and I felt weird in that room. Like,
did you really?
This is before I'd got this. I was like, God, I feel like I'm like backstage of reality here. It just felt weird. And then when it flashed up saying that, I was like, what? That's a fucking coincidence. But that's the thing, isn't it? It's like, oh, well, maybe that's what they're really good at. Throwing you coincidences. Like things that are likely to happen that look like they're not very likely. But having a baby, that's pretty fucking unlikely.
Yeah, it's a big thing.
Like to guess that in 18 months, specifically 18 months, you will have a son. I was like, wow. I almost wrote it off.
It's possible that some of that, you know, playing devil's advocate here, Phil. It could be psychosomatic.
Yeah, definitely.
And you could be reading into that way you want to read into it.
Yeah.
And getting the results that you want. But the baby thing, because it's such a big thing for a psychic. Was it a psychic?
Yeah, I guess.
For a
medium. Well.
Yeah, for somebody like that to say that putting themselves at risk.
That's what I thought. I thought that is a huge gamble.
Because if that didn't pay off, to say to somebody, yeah, you're gonna have a son, 18 months, and then a daughter. If that doesn't pay off, you can go back to the medium and say, what the fuck, and what they're gonna say. And the amount of people to see, there's, you know, to say something wrong, they're gonna get some shit fired their way.
Yeah.
So
just discredited and be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But
so you don't believe in ghosts, but yeah.
But this is just it's enough like coincidence to be like, what? I see a girl with a flower in her name. Baby mama, middle name, Rose.
That's another goodie, isn't it?
I was like, whoa. That has a great presence in your life, yeah, definitely.
Damn.
Say some stuff. Oh, it's just like. Sorry, I'm just reading it. It's boring as fuck. Not this, but me reading. It's bang on the money, mate. Like in so many ways, it's like what the fuck. But I guess that's how loads of people interpret, like, you know, the shit that mediums tell them and psychics and stuff. Because you desperately want it.
Well, look at star signs.
Apply, don't you? Yeah.
You look at star signs, and the star sign could say, we're both Cancer, and the star sign could say, you are going to have a week with ups and downs. Stress will get to you at work, but when the weekend comes, you will feel better, or something like that. And well, actually, that's rubbish. Actually, isn't it? That's a terrible example of a star sign. But anyway, it'll say something, and you could read into it and think, you know, that was right. I'm feeling like that at the minute. That's spot on. Well, then if you read the star sign of Leo, thinking in the same mindset, or somebody showed you something without the star sign on the name of it, you went, oh, that is me. Yeah, that's a Capricorn, dude. So you just mentally read into it what you want to, and you take from it what you will, and so that's always going to win. It's always going to get you.
What I find with the star sign stuff though is with Cancer, when they describe the Cancer male, I'm always like, yeah, that does totally fit me. Like totally. In other Cancer males that I know, like my granddad and that, they seem to fit the bill perfectly as well. It's like, are they just wording this in such a great way that it really does seem to apply? Or was there something of ancient knowledge that where if the stars were fucking aligned in such a way when you were born that you got zapped with like star energy, you've got fucking, I don't know, Scorpio blast. He's a Scorpio, ready to go. You know, and then is that like crazy to think that that's even a possibility? That's just yes, obviously, but
the answer is yes, but it's still open for debate.
Yeah.
I mean, it is because we're all made of the universe.
It could still be it could still be physics. It could be a physical thing that happens. It might just be something we're just totally not aware of. Like, you know, like string theory, how it says there's like 13 dimensions or whatever. Maybe it's that kind of like blast, that star alignment, fucking blast occurs. I don't know. Like it just could be in one of these dimensions that that we don't even fucking can pick up on. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, there could be loads of aspects of physics that exist that we just can't even test.
No, we haven't got the sensors for it.
Yeah.
We're locked into however many dimensions we are, and we can only pick on and see whatever we can see. And there's certain light that we can't see.
Yeah, like most of it.
You know, infrared we can't see.
Yeah, like most of the spectrum, innit?
Yeah.
It's only a small little bit.
Visible light's a tiny bit, isn't it?
What the fuck would it look like if you could see like microwaves and gamma rays and shit? What are they? What would that
I don't know.
But I suppose it wouldn't look like anything that you think, because we can only think in terms of how our eyes perceive things.
Yeah.
And the human eye can only ever perceive visible light. So what kind of eyes would you need to pick up a fucking gamma ray? Do you know what I mean?
Superman eyes.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's crazy. Have you seen that shit what happens in space where these like tiny little particles, or whatever the fuck they are, like penetrate through the rockets that they send up in space, and they fucking penetrate like through your body and shit, and like through the helmets and stuff.
Do they?
Like that's these tiny little like fucking lines where you can see. I don't know what camera they use to fucking pick up this shit, but somehow they can. They can pick up these like massive dents effectively. Or holes even in like space helmets. It's just so small that it doesn't cause anything to like like vacuum effect bang on it. It doesn't cause that because they're so tiny. But it's like the picture and stuff. It's like, what the fuck,
mate?
Which is insane to think of things being so small that they can travel through.
Yeah.
Like solid surfaces. Like we're getting blasted now with was it neutrinos or something from the sun? Like it gives these tiny little particles. And they're just always going through you. We're getting showered and shit from the sun, like right now.
So
probably.
Maybe it's possible that ghosts do exist in a dimension that we can't see unless the conditions are right.
Yeah.
And maybe in these really brief glimpses into the past that we get, if you're lucky enough to be there, you'll see one. And what if these so-called mediums, although there is undoubtedly a whole load of fakers out there. Maybe they're all fake, I don't know. Maybe what if they are hearing voices in their head that are from the dead?
Yeah. Like they could just have...
They're just picking them up and translating them into human words. And
yeah, their intuition level might just be genetically massive compared to like the likes of me. You know, they might just have like... Because you know how Rain Man and stuff like that, where they have like amazing memories.
Yeah.
Or amazing ability to like compute equations and stuff like that.
Yeah,
maybe with mediums and these spiritual people, maybe they just have intuition turned right the fuck up in the brain.
Yeah,
and they're like, yeah, I can see it. I can see auras. I can see a fucking aura there, a little green aura.
Phil, get the fuck off my auric field.
Yeah, fuck
get
you,
the fuck off my auric field, man.
That's a wet rod.
Yeah, you like your auric field, I wish I could get possessed like Derek Akora.
Just do it, just start doing it.
Bitch!
Yeah.
Dude, I was possessed, it didn't mean yeah, fuck. Yeah. What do you guys think about mediums? Real, fake? If you had any experiences, let me know.
As always.
Have you had a reading like Phil? Am I missing out on a treat? I'm sure I was meant to go to a reading a little while back and I never went. Yeah.
We need to try and hunt some out and get some good readings.
That would be interesting.
It'd be shit if I got one. And you'll never ever have a son. You work in a manufacturing role. Like, No, not all of the above.
And you really love a guy that looks like he's from the Mediterranean. That's me.
Well, you got that part right, but the rest of it, I'm just not.
2 guys, 1 medium. Right then, thanks for checking out this show about mediums. I don't think we've given you much information, but it's more of like a... This wasn't so much like the Slender Man episode where I sort of give you a backstory and shit. This is where we just kind of discussed our thoughts on it, because we got talking about it before. So, like I said, if you've had any experiences with mediums, readings, or anything like that, comment below. If you're watching on YouTube, that is. If not, go on iTunes, like the Facebook page, do whatever you want to do. As always, it's been David.
And Phil.
2 Guys, 1 Garage. We'll be back very soon with another episode, a longer episode, and
A hotter episode.
unfortunately we'll probably not mention Derek Akora as much as I want to, because god damn it, I love that guy. Not gay. Right then, see you later.
Goodbye.